Tell you what gives me the confidence is the people in Nebraska, right? The property tax crisis is such a crisis that's affecting every Nebraskan adversely. And so, I have great confidence in everybody in unicameral. All 49 legislators know we have a property tax crisis. I have great confidence they'll all come together and solve the crisis. It has to be fixed. I have great confidence that that'll take place and it'll be a bipartisan support. Will we all get exactly what we want? No, that's not how the policy process works. But I have great confidence we'll have transformative solutions to the problem. You know, I never pay attention to what people say. I pay attention to what people do. A lot of times it's a vastly different picture. So, yeah, I think proof will be in the pudding. We'll see what time says. No, that wouldn't be at all the case. The goal is to have it zeroed in and keep it focused on property tax reform. And all ideas there are welcome and wanted and needed so that we can come together and have a solution. So, goal is to keep it simple, keep it focused on property tax reform and fixing the property tax crisis. I tell you what, I'm a believer. I believe that the unicameral will hear, the legislators will hear from the people, and are hearing from the people of Nebraska. Everybody knows. Every elected person knows what a crisis it is. So I'm very confident that we'll have enough people come together. There'll be bipartisan support to fix this crisis. It's exactly what I've been doing since the end of the session. I've been reaching and meeting Nebraskans nonstop because I believe Nebraskans' voices need to be heard. If their voices aren't heard, the lobbying group's voice is, and I believe in democracy. I believe that hearing from people matter. It encourages me, it inspires me when people stop me and tell me, thank me for working hard. I'm encouraging people to reach out to all the legislators. It's the same impact. Yeah, as I've said, my job as governor is to make sure that when we have a crisis, that we can bring people together to solve the crisis. I've come forward with some plans that I believe has tremendous support that are really simple and straightforward. I think today, this one piece is the work before that was done, property tax credits, and filling out your income statement or your tax return. Fact, in 2023, there was $750 million of property tax credits. $500 million were taken advantage of by 55% of Nebraskans. I'm governor of everybody in Nebraska. 45%, folks on the bottom side of the pay scale, didn't take advantage of the $250 million. So front-loading the property tax credits. That is important for Nebraskans. That's important for people that do their taxes themselves. 45% didn't take advantage of it. You know, the other piece is really, really simple. Everybody's up in arms about valuation. Everybody. And the fact is, it's not a valuation problem. We have state statute in play today that says whatever the valuation goes up, the levy is to drop corresponding, and there's no change in property taxes. And yet there's a pop-off valve that allows every local government to override it, and we do 100% of the time everywhere. It's a spending problem. I understand why people don't like to tackle. It's not fun to tell people no, but we have to stop spending money. And that's why I'm a strong advocate of hard caps. We're talking property tax. We're not talking anything, we're talking property tax. So I'm an advocate of hard cap 0 or CPI. What does that mean? That means that when we go into deflation, like we had in 9, 10, 11, 12, when we have deflation of 2 and 3%, hard cap 0 or CPI means you wouldn't decrease spending 3%. You'd stay at zero spending, which means you're increasing government by 3% because you get 3% more with 3% deflation. We should have learned from that by what we did before. So, and when 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, when CPI was 7%, it would have been 7%. So it's let's not grow government during deflationary times by 8%. Let's provide what we need, not more. And then obviously the other piece is I was appalled when I started running and I started learning, and I found out all other Nebraskans were, when we have 244 school districts, and 180 of the 244 school districts, we've got virtually no funding from the state. We ranked 49th out of 50 states in funding K-12 education. It's the state's job to fund K-12 education. So I'm an advocate. The state should quitting on kids, and property taxes for K-12 education make up about 60% of the cost. So the state taking over funding of K-12 education, period, nothing else. Provide the funding just like we did with our community colleges 2 sessions ago. And then obviously I've been an advocate for a long time of broad-based sales tax. We've had 100 and some exemptions done, 120 exemptions done over the last 50 plus years. So bringing sales tax exemptions. In 2023, we had $5.3 billion in property taxes revenue. We wrote checks for $5.3 billion in property taxes.
Actually,
I'm sorry?
The 5.3 was the taxes levied, not the taxes paid.
Whether they're levied or paid, it's still an encumbrance. I mean, there was $5.3 billion in tax revenue going into the state. There was $3.7 billion in income tax and $2.3 billion in sales tax. Our plan will decrease revenue by 2027, decrease spend by $1 billion. Sales tax or property tax will go from 5.3 to 2.6 billion. Because we've made progress on income tax, it'll go from 3.7 to 3.2, and then sales tax will go from 2.3 to 4.1. Any economist will agree that that's the healthy form so you can grow your state. We can't grow today because we're chasing our seniors that can't afford their home out. Young people don't have the hope to buy a home, and we have no idea how many people are not coming here because of our property taxes. As I've said, I don't know if you were there, but just recently I was talking economic development, wanted this company to go on a trade mission this fall with me, said they really want to come to Nebraska, do business because of X, Y, and Z, and they're really serious, but there's a little glitch. I said, what's the glitch? Well, they've actually bought some property. I said, well, that's not a glitch, that's a good thing. They're really committed. Well, the glitch is they bought the property across the river because of property taxes. I don't know how much more we need to hear about it. Martha, I love the people in the state of Nebraska. I am who I am because of it. I've been blessed. I've been blessed being more than I deserve in 100 lifetimes. I've worked my tail off, taken tons of risks, just like countless families in all 93 counties. I'm governor to give back. My job as governor is to grow Nebraska and fix major problems, and that's what I'm doing. Well, I think that when we're talking about, so if you'll see, our plan is a 3-year phase plan.
Right.
15-cent levy, a 7% levy, and a 0% levy. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of folks to come together, and we don't have every idea. That's why I put the principles out in the sales tax of things that are really, really important. Have principles of the sales tax vision, and it's not my job as governor just to come up with every solution. I'm partners with the unicameral. I have great confidence that the unicameral will come up and say, hey, there's other things that make sense. I mean, I use it all the time. South Dakota. When people talk about South Dakota tax policy, what's the one thing they talk about? No income tax. Well, where do you think they get their revenue? They have a broad-based, aggressive sales tax. I'm sure we'll have members of the unicameral that will have far greater ideas than what we've had in talking about sales tax.
So you're expecting the legislature to find
I'm saying that there's opportunities to find more, and everybody's going to be coming with solutions to party. Here's what's exciting about our unicameral. People aren't saying we don't have a problem. People aren't saying no. They're coming with solutions. I think there's 80. I've heard there's up to 80 bills being drafted. It's awesome. Again, the idea is for property. We're keeping the focus for property tax reduction, and we're going to keep it simple so we stay focused on property tax. We're not going to go into other items. So the tax credit, the property tax fund, the PUF, those all stay in play.
Right.
And so those were credits. Those weren't checks written. Is that what you're saying? But it's still a cost.
But those costs are paid out of state dollars.
Yes.
Not out of property taxes. So the amount of...
Okay.
I'm questioning I'm questioning how that affects the total the savings, because this is overstated. I mean,
well, no, it's not, because those are obligations that somebody's got to take care of. These were the $5.3 billion of property tax is what went into our 93 counties. And some of it was paid by citizens, some of it was tax credits that citizens earned, whether it's a homestead exemption, whatever policy's been paid. But that is the total cost to be able to run school, to fulfill all the obligations of our local governments, whether it's the NRDs, whether it's ESUs, whether it's a city property tax, whether it's a county property tax. Now, I totally agree, the tax credits took care of some of that. Those weren't 100% checks, there weren't 100% checks written by people, but they were obligations that were fulfilled by the people in Nebraska one way or the other. And the other one I wanted to make sure was pointed out in here would be let's see here. Yeah, so 5.3 to 2.3.
I know we don't have time to...
Here, sales tax from 2.3 to 4.1, and then if you add up the income tax and the corporate tax from 3.7 to 3.2.
And you're talking about taking away some of the local option sales tax?
No. Cities can do whatever they decide to do if they want to do more, but we're talking about the new tax items that goes to the state, that doesn't go to the city as a windfall if we have a new service.